Live and direct. BSing with the Guys show. Back at it. Tons of crazy ass political news going on. Brad, I want to start by telling you, I got to give it to you, bro. You called that Tim Walz thing a week and a half ago, and I doubted you. And sure enough, comes out, says he's done, doesn't even want to attempt to try to run. And, you know, I don't know what you saw, but I didn't see it. I didn't trust the system enough. But apparently you saw something because you gave him 2 to 3 weeks and said he would be dropping out. And sure enough, it happened.
It's too much pressure, man, on him. Entirely too much pressure. I really think, I don't know, man. I know he's got his rest of his term to do here. I see him maybe resigning, man, from being governor, you know, stepping down. Time frame, I don't know. But I think if the pressure's on him not to seek re-election for a third term, I think the pressure's only going to build. So
you think he was? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, I said I might make that prediction, put it out there that he is. The pressure might come down even further, and he might resign, man. Might step down.
You think it was pressure from inside, or do you think it was just knowing that I probably don't stand a fucking chance because of all this fraud stuff going on right now?
Both. Mostly probably from pressure from within. And, you know, look, could it have been, I think I mentioned it last time, you know, in the last cast, could it be that the higher ups in his party and maybe in the government came down and said, you need to walk away from this and fade off into the sunset, or if you stay, there'll be hell to pay for you, you know? So, you know, prosecution wise is what I'm saying.
Well, see,
you know?
And that's my thing. Like, I'm hoping that that doesn't close the book on that option. Because, you know, whether he's in there or not, if he knew what was going on with all this fraudulent shit, there's no way he should be able to escape that by just saying, okay, I'm not going to run for governor.
Right.
And it may very well be the case. You know, that might have been what they told him. Look, we're coming after you, or you can ride off, you know. But I don't think it should be that simple for him, because I don't believe for a second that he didn't know this shit was going on right under his nose.
I agree, 100%, dude. 100%. No. He knew he was might have been profiting. I'm sure he was profiting off of it, just like they all are. So
exactly. And did you hear his you know, his lame excuse was, you know, he was going to focus on the work as far as getting behind all of what was going on with this fraud, opposed to trying to concentrate on his campaign. That's why he's going to drop out. He's going to be so busy fighting fraud, Brad. He don't have time for campaigning.
Plus, he doesn't want to be a distraction. Fraud? Yeah.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Justin?
Yeah. This all like wrapped up in the daycare shit?
Yeah. This is I mean, hell, that's just the tip of it, and it's every day more and more shit's it's still coming out to this day. Just more of these fraudulent schemes that were being run, and, you know, taxpayer dollars being spent to fund these schemes. It doesn't stop. It's almost tiring talking about it. It's like, well, what else can you say about it? But then every day I get online, I see more breaking news about where they're uncovering more of these fraud schemes that were going on in different entities around the state and in other states right now. And it's just never fucking ending. Never ending.
No.
That was that Nick
like
Shirley.
I say, go ahead. No, Nick Shirley.
I was going to say that Nick Shirley, I seen he put on X earlier, you know, just simple. I ended Tim Walz. And I think it's true. That 23-year-old went out there with a mission, accomplished it. And a week later, Tim Walz is like, yep, I'm done. That's pretty powerful, dude, for just a little street journalist, so to say, a YouTuber, you know, going out there with a camera and the will to figure some shit out, and then boom, got a politician stepping down. That's pretty major. We need more like him.
But didn't he say the daycares were real?
Who?
Tim.
Oh, yeah. Of course Tim did. Yeah. He said they were all real. So
they are real.
Oh, yeah.
They're real. Yeah, they're real, but are they legitimately real, you know?
Yeah. No, they somewhat exist, but yeah, it's you know, 100 kids enrolled and 0 showing up. So it's like, and another one.
I heard something come across, like, if you have a daycare like that, within the rules and recs of that, you're supposed to have like a rec area for the kids.
Right.
And like I forget the percentage, but it was a large percentage of them didn't even have that where they could take the kids outside to stretch their legs or anything like that, you know.
You look at a lot of the photos of these buildings that they were passing. I mean, it looked like just abandoned, half of them, you know, like there's no way kids were in these, not to mention, like you said, there's no rec area to take them outside and play. And all of that's required when you at least over here it is, when you open up a daycare, you're supposed to have certain amenities for these children. And none of this was going on at these places. And they're still standing behind that there is no fraud. I mean, when I say they, I just mean that the people in the community, the Somali community that were benefiting from this, they're still arguing that, you know, they were 100% legit. And I'm thinking, dude, the gig is up now. Like you might as well just say, yeah, I mean, fuck, they were giving it to us, so we were taking it. I mean.
Well, you know, people, I mean, they would prove that they're legit, but, you know, somebody broke in and stole all the records.
I forgot. So. Yeah, they did. They did. They broke in and stole all the children's records and all the workers' records. And sorry, you know, but no, I seen they were advertising for virtual classes now, and I'm thinking, oh, wait till they start investigating that. I mean, that's easy to, you know, I got 100 kids that tune into my virtual class every day. Therefore, I need, you know, $100 a kid or whatever the government was paying. So that's going to be a whole nother fucking fraud. Wow. You know, a scandal that they uncover, I'm sure. That's what I mean. It's like it never ends. This stuff is just going and going and going. I want to say Trump had come out and said that now the fraud in Minnesota is at least $19 billion, and he's warning everybody it could be as much as $50 billion in fraud when this is all said and done. That's a lot of money.
$50 billion?
Yeah. It's a lot of taxpayer money.
Yes.
Why were these daycares getting money?
Because it was like government-funded daycares as far as child care assistance and shit.
Gotcha. So it's free for like the parents. Supposedly.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. and they were running it that way. They were doing autism centers where they were purposely misdiagnosing people's kids, saying, "Oh yeah, your kid has autism," and then they would kick back the parents a little bit of money for bringing their kid in, shit like that. You know.
Rod sharing. It probably meals were involved. Oh, dude, there's no telling how deep this really goes.
Well, yeah, because they went into taking care of veterans and shit, you know, feeding veterans and housing and stuff, you know. But they had legitimate companies, it seems like, but what they were doing was way overcharging the government. And I'm not saying all of them were legitimate companies, but some of them were, and they may feed 20 people, but when they could just turn in a slip that says we fed 200, and they would get reimbursed. You know, it cost us, you know, $30 a meal. And we fed 200 people. Well, when you do that day in and day out for years, it starts to add up to millions and millions. And then when one person doesn't just own one of those, they own 12 of these businesses. So then the money's just coming in. I mean, it was just a big money pot, and it was just overflowing and never ending. Must be nice.
I know. Was it all the Mongolians? No, where were they from?
Somali.
Yeah.
Stop fucking with the Mongolians, man.
Where you been? You been sick or something, dude?
Yeah, and the what's going on in Minnesota? Yes.
Okay.
It was. So far, that's what they've uncovered, that it was all Somali-owned businesses that were doing this, and that's big over there. That's kind of, I don't know if you remember a while back, Tim Walz was doing some kind of press conference, and he got out of his chair and put on this big spectacle because he went and removed the Minnesota state flag and put the Somali flag in its place. So he's been catering to them for years because he knows there's enough of them over here to basically, I guess, control how the votes turn out. So let me just go ahead and pander to these people and just keep bringing them in and bringing them in. And that's what they were doing this whole time, was just buying votes from Somali groups. And it worked. Apparently it had him elected until, you know, some kid decides I'm bored and I want to go check out what the fuck's going on in Minnesota. And it's weird because I don't even know what brought that to Nick Shirley's attention. I've never heard that part.
Like, I was seeing somebody was saying that it was actually Occupy Democrats on Facebook, and they didn't bring any proof. All right, for one. But they did say that some Republicans over there admitted that they basically pointed him in the right direction to go investigate these daycares or something like that.
Is that what it was? Because he wasn't new at this.
That's what Occupy Democrats posted.
Yeah, and he wasn't new at this investigative journalism shit. He just happened to come to the forefront now because of this case. Like, he's been doing this kind of stuff for a little while in different places. So I guess when you're doing it like that and you start getting a little name, people start sending you tips and shit. And apparently that's what happened here, because he doesn't have children. So it's not like he was, deciding to just let me dig into daycare fraud. But something brought it to his attention, or somebody did, and it just blew up. And it's good that it did. As I mentioned in the very beginning, I had zero faith that this was going to affect Tim Walz. I thought the machine behind him was too big, because we've seen it in the past, especially with the Democratic side. They take care of their own. They usually don't throw their own to the wolves, and it looks like that's basically what they did with Tim Walz. And Brad called it. I didn't believe it. I'm glad I was wrong, because it's good to see somebody being somewhat held accountable. I just hope it doesn't stop there. They need some kind of legal repercussions to this shit, because it's disgusting what's going on, because it hasn't stopped yet. It's still going on. They're just digging into it more and more now.
Polymarket says 16% chance he's arrested before 2027.
Yeah. Arrest is a tough one. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to take it that far. But then again, I mean, I guess if they find that they can prove he knew what was going on and he was just letting it happen, well, they have to do something. They're going to have to, if that proof ever comes out.
Right.
They can't just let him walk away when the whole nation knows this guy knew what was going on. He's not a Hillary Clinton. He's not a Barack Obama. He's not that powerful to where they're just going to kind of brush it under the rug. He may be a fall guy to say, see, we prosecute our own. Poor Tim Walz about to get it. That's what I see happening.
It's true. Wouldn't it just be spectacular, man? Because you're right, Shane. Usually a lot of times when something happens on the Democrat side, they circle the wagons, they protect each other. I guess unless somebody has to be a fall guy. And I guess in this, that it's probably that bad that somebody's got to take the fall, and it's not going to be anybody with name recognition out there. So when I say that, how crazy would it be? Or is it even a possibility that maybe there's higher ups in Congress that have some of these shell companies out there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. In other words,
and maybe not here, but where else could this be going on?
So you're basically saying they could be benefiting from this type of fraud.
Oh, absolutely.
How much of them are making money? So therefore, they can only, I guess, dig so deep. It's kind of like the Epstein stuff. They can only get so deep into it when the higher ups are involved.
Exactly.
And that's why I really didn't think Tim Walz was going to leave. I figured he was going to ride this storm out. The Democrats were going to have his back. And which a lot of them did, but I don't know what was going on behind closed doors. Even now, you got Kamala Harris coming out talking about how great he was for Minnesota, and I'm thinking, how can anybody say that, knowing what's going
with a straight
on?
Face? Right?
Yeah, and the billions of dollars that was being stolen from taxpayers, to even say that he was great for the state. Like, you couldn't think of anything else and just say, hey, I knew him personally. He seemed like a great guy to me, but leave Minnesota out of it. Because he was horrible for the state if he was fucking letting people steal billions of dollars from taxpayers. That statement makes zero sense. But it comes from her and Gavin Newsom. And I'm thinking, well, if that's the two people you got speaking for you, it's not a very good crowd.
I agree 100%. And I said it, I was having dinner with the wife the other night, and I said, I truly believe what's coming is the house of cards are falling, and they're starting with the bottom, of course. And I believe it's going to just kind of implode upon itself. And I really do. I think you're going to see a lot of this fraud and this corruption, and I'm hoping you do. And like we just talked earlier, I hope it's deeper than that, because if you don't start holding people accountable for this, our politicians and the people that we vote in and put in charge to take care of this, dude, we are morally and just financially, we're done, man, as a country. And people feel like that now. These are American people, just like ourselves, that pay all these tax dollars, and this is where our hard-earned money goes to. So I do believe majority of the Americans, we voted for this. We need this kind of cleaning up that needs to be done. And I'm hoping there's more accountability to it than just what you're seeing going on.
Well, you said it too. Taxpayers ought to be pissed off either way, no matter where you're from. I mean, you ought to be pissed off. Kristen, you pay taxes. Justin, everybody up here on this screen, and most people in the comments and watching this probably pay taxes. And it should just, everybody should just be done with this bullshit and want accountability, and not just somebody not running for governor again, but you know, it needs to be deeper than that. Matt, what's going on, Matt? I see you in them comments. Everybody else checking us out, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But now I did a little video about this the other day, but just to kind of show the ones that didn't see it. This, if y'all can read that, this is gibberish. Can y'all see that on your screen there, Kristen and Justin and all?
No, I can't read it.
Damn it. Well, you can't even make out that it's nothing?
There it is.
Yeah, now I can.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is basically on the website of one of these facilities that were supposed to be this autism facility that's breaking in money from the government. Now you can see all of these words. It's all gibberish. It means nothing. It's basically text that people use when designing a website just to kind of show you what it's going to look like once we put your words on it. But this garbage here, this Latin garbage, it means absolutely nothing. People have been doing this for years. It's just to kind of, you know, like I said, be a placeholder just to give you an idea of what your site's going to look like. Now, this was basically a page explaining what their facility was about, and they didn't even bother fucking changing this in the 5 or 6 years that this business has been around. So to me, it just goes to show you the lack of give a fuck when they're stealing these funds because it was too easy and they just know there's no accountability. So why even hide it? I mean, imagine going to this thinking it's a legit website and this is the garbage you see. Just a bunch of fucking letters and shit all over a page that was never finished for this website. Now, this place is still active. They since shut the website down because they got called out on this bullshit. But to me, like I said, it just really opened my eyes to how easy of a process it was and the lack of fear any of these people had that were benefiting from all of this fraud. Now, of course, the TikTok liberal warriors came out when I posted a video on there about this saying, well, they've been trying to get in touch with the web designer for 3 months now. It's like, how the fuck do you know that, for one? Because they say that? Well, what do you think they're going to say? Apparently, it didn't cross their mind in the years that they've been open to say, maybe, you know, we need to go ahead and fix this. So now you're telling me the last 3 months is when they've been trying to, you know, fix this issue of explaining to people what this facility is? Like, come on, man. But that just shows you how one side, no matter what, they refuse to just say the people I voted for, they did something wrong. It's, you know what I mean? It's okay to just say, yeah, this is a fuck up. The Democratic Party should not be jumping behind this. These hardcore liberal progressives should not be taking up for this shit. And most of it's due into the name of just not wanting to be called a racist because the people's skin color it happens to be black that we're pulling off this fucking fraud. And that's the dumbest reason ever to just, you know, brush something under the rug because you're afraid somebody might call you a bad name. So just let it go, you know?
Right. I mean, y'all aren't even like a little mad that y'all didn't know this was like an option.
That's probably what pisses off most people, including myself. It's the jealousy. Like, why didn't we think of this? It could be BSing with the guy's daycare. We house 3,000 children, believe it or not.
Boom. Migrant children.
Yes.
You know, like, but no, we just go to work, you know.
No, I know. That's probably, honestly, it's got to piss off the natives over there in Minnesota, man. That just, you know, like you just mentioned, you go to work every day, you're doing what you got to do, you know, and you're getting forced to have taxes removed out of your check and all, and it's going to bullshit like that. I mean, I would think they'd have enough. Hopefully they vote the right way when it comes up and gets a better leadership in there, but I don't know, man. They elected this clown before, so what's to say they're not going to put somebody in there just as bad? Yeah, exactly. And he probably would have won again.
Oh, he probably would have.
If all this wouldn't have come to light.
Yeah, and it's true, man. Even if you look at it, it's like, man, put the political party on the side and just think practical and logical, man, that your hard-earned tax dollars, if you're a working taxpaying American citizen, and this is where your money goes to. I get social issues and, you know, conservative issues. We all have those issues, but damn, man, I mean, I don't know, man. You start hitting people's pocketbooks like you're hitting it, and I see why you should be pissed off. I know I am. I'm aggravated as all hell because of what we pay, for this. I don't mind helping people if it's legitimate, but this is just way, way extreme. And this is just the
helping
beginning.
the Somalis.
This is, well, no, yeah, okay.
I don't want to help anybody.
I was waiting on Kristen. Like, I don't want to help. Fuck that. I'm trying to help myself.
Yeah, what? I don't care if it's legitimate or not.
No, I get to Brad's point. There's certain, social, there's certain things we need to do that, community wise, whether it be, money for police departments, fire departments, keeping our roads good, whatever. Yeah. There are certain community things that we do, need to take care of, but it goes too far, especially in these liberal places. Everything is about just take it here. Taxpayer, we'll just tax people more, just take it. And that's where people like Kristen get that attitude that it's like, fuck that. All they're doing is stealing my shit anyway. I mean, they probably don't even need half of what they take from everybody, because if they take away all the fraud that's been going on, that's probably half of our money right there. So therefore, they didn't even need half of what they've been stealing from us for decades. And that right there, man, I want a big check. It better be coming. I want to be reimbursed.
Yeah, I don't mind like the police officers and fire department and stuff, but I mean, other people who just don't want to work, it's your problem.
Well, that's different. Yeah, that whole different argument. You're right. I mean, but that's everywhere. That's not just this Minnesota stuff. The welfare system is always going to be gamed. That's never going to stop. People are always going to figure out a way to use it to their advantage. Where it becomes shitty, basically, is when these politicians are involved in it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have the citizens that try their hardest to take advantage of it. I get that. It's when people like Tim Walz and anybody else around this country that knows this shit's going on, and they're actually helping it by promoting it and they're buying votes. They're shipping people into their areas, giving them a bunch of free shit from taxpayers' funds, and just to basically stay empowered, stay governor, stay mayor, stay, whatever. So that's when it becomes a real problem, when the higher ups are behind it. And I think that's what was going on in Minnesota. I mean, there's no other reason for Tim Walz to drop out if he didn't have some dirt on him when it comes to this, because I would sit there and say, look, I had nothing to do with this. I know what was going on while I was governor. I put people in positions. I thought they were handling this. Yes, I may have fucked up on that end. I should have been paying a little bit more attention, but I did not know that it was going on to that scale. But he never. It's just, well, I'm going to drop out and concentrate on combating fraud now. It was the only excuse he could figure out to come up with. It's nonsense.
Total.
We need to investigate the mattress companies, because there's no fucking way.
I ain't never seen
they're
nobody
sitting there
in
making
one.
money.
Yeah, there'll be one car out in front of it.
Empty.
Always, and they'll have 6 of them on one strip.
Yeah.
Who's buying mattresses?
Who's buying mattresses at this level? This is bullshit, and somebody needs to look into it.
It's government funded somehow, man. That's a welfare system.
And Arby's.
Arby's.
I swear it closes down like 4 times a year and then magically reopens again.
Oh my God. I like the mattress thing, because you are fucking right too, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You are right. So
I don't get it.
Anyway, now, of course, we got the Democrats, Republicans can't agree on anything. Trump goes in there, he orders them to go in there and get this fucking oppressive dictator out of Venezuela. And the last thing the Democrats can do is say, that was good. That needed to happen.
That's pretty awesome.
It should be.
How do you just steal somebody's president?
Well, I think it's
That's
more
so funny.
Right, because he had warrants and shit for drug trafficking. Because it's kind of like, Marco Rubio and others have been saying that we're not at war with Venezuela. We have no desire to be at war with Venezuela. We wanted somebody that was running the country for laws that he broke, and we got him. It was that simple. Now he can go to court. He has his day in court to plead his case, but this wasn't we're just going to go in there and destroy Venezuela. They said they have no intentions on going in there and doing anything else, any kind of strikes or anything. They got what they wanted. Now they're going to help and try to let it transition and see how this goes. But look, there's a lot of oil in Venezuela, a lot of it. There's no need to let other superpowers around the world have control or access to that when it's right in our region. I agree with Rubio when he's saying that. I mean, we're not going to let China and Russia and others dictate what's going on in our part of the world. And I think it was a great move. I think they need to pay attention to what's going on over there. Fuck yeah, get that oil, baby. Let's do it, man. They talking about it could bring gas prices down. Let's go get it.
Yeah. And
with them.
The Maduro dude, like, wasn't really technically, I guess, the president I've been hearing, because he kind of just didn't get voted in and was like, no, I'm the president.
Yeah, it was. He wouldn't let nobody dig into the stats behind the election. He's basically just Saddam Hussein, you know, like, oh yeah, I won, and if you don't believe me, well, I mean, but fuck off, or we'll be at your door. So, you know, it was very funny how it went on, very fraudulent, and Trump and a lot of leaders around the world, they never did acknowledge him as the true president of Venezuela. Mm-hmm. Right. They knew what he did. He stole that election, and he just never earned the respect from other leaders around the world. But what he did here, do what?
Said just like Biden.
Just like Biden? That's true. That's so true. No, like I said, this was more of a law enforcement action to execute a long-standing, I guess, federal indictments for drug trafficking and narco terrorism that, of course, Trump called a brilliant operation, which it sounds like it was. They said everything was done in less than like 3 minutes. They went in there, boom. The couple that Maduro and his wife didn't even have time to get to their little safe room or whatever, just nabbed them up, boom, went. Nobody was killed as far as on our side, and it seemed very successful. Now, the liberals are out in the streets, free Maduro, free Maduro.
They're just idiots.
They are. It's the same ones that just months ago bitching about no kings and no dictators, and now they're out there fighting for one. I don't understand these people, man. It's like it no matter what's going on, you take down a brutal dictator, which if you talk to anybody from that region, besides the one that are on his team, but anybody else will tell you this man was no good. But you have Americans that will argue with Venezuelan people, telling them that the U.S. was wrong, they should have never went in there, and they need to free this man. And I just don't see how you argue with people that are from that region or have firsthand knowledge of what's going on in that region. It's ridiculous. It's kind of like with, the way Cuba is. You got people that I know that come from Cuba will tell you how bad the Castro regime was, but then you have other people that have never been there before arguing, saying, it wasn't what the U.S. was saying. It wasn't that bad. And that's basically what's going on here. And it's only because of the person behind this arrest, which being Trump, the big mean orange man was behind this. So now they're all out in the fucking streets talking about free a dictator. It's nuts.
It is. And if you look back, man, on Venezuela, if you look back even probably 50s, 60s, probably in the 70s, man, it was the most powerful country in South America, probably number 4 in the world, Sweden, United States, so on and so forth. So when we talk about Maduro, it really wasn't him that started this. They were powerful, and then they had a guy, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, Hugo Chavez.
Yes.
He ran on the political platform that he was going to change and make everything equal, and socialism, communism, socialism, collectivism, and so he's really the one that started this. And so of course when he died, this guy takes over, running it the same way. Oil companies in there. There's major oil companies throughout the world that invested probably billions into that country, and then it was nationalized, the oil industry. So it was like Chevron, Exxon, whatever companies were out there were like, get the F out of here, dude. We have nationalized all the oil. We're taking it over, And I think it was a good thing. It was safe. It was done. It needed to be done. And I found it odd that these liberals are out here bitching and complaining about it, where if you look at the last administration, they used to have about a $25 million bounty on his head. Biden's administration raised it to 50. So they've admitted that he was just no good for that country. But it's just amazing how the tides turn when Trump or Republican does something that they probably bitching for years that they thought they couldn't do, that they do. And so here's where we are with it. But yeah, and look, you look at Venezuela, man, they probably have the largest oil reserves maybe in the world. That's how oil rich they are, but it's deeper than that too, man. It's gold, silver, copper, all kind of minerals, you know. So they're a rich and powerful company, and it's been taken away from the people. It really has, because it was, like I said, it was a prosperous country at one point in time, and they've came in and just socialized it, and they took everything from the people. So,
well, let's.
I don't think it's a bad day, you know.
Well, I'm gonna play this clip. This might be the only time you ever see anything with The View on this show, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Check it out, and then we'll talk about what's going on here.
Your question, who voted for this? The people in South Florida, the Venezuelan community, the Cuban American community, the Nicaraguan American community voted for this. And for us, this is a very, very happy day when we see a dictator who has been part of oppressing and abusing the Venezuelan people for 25 years. When we see him in handcuffs and held to some sort of accountability, it brought me into tears. It brought me great joy. And, you know, I live in South Florida.
But are you okay with the way that it was done?
But you can, I think both things can be true.
Okay.
I think you can criticize.
Now, you see how the other co-host there could not wait for something negative. Now, you've got Ana Navarro, okay? She's not Republican by any means, but she's saying this is a good thing, what Trump did. This is good. We got a dictator out of there, but one of them, the women on that panel could not wait to say, but do you agree how he did it? Like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck how he did it?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's not like
not
he went
one
there
single
and just,
American died. Not one single American died. So
exactly.
yes, I agree with the way he did it. Yeah.
Well, you know, and I guess what she was getting at is there's a lot of people on the left now, and even leaders, some of the leaders around the world, saying that it wasn't legal what Trump did to just go in there and snatch up another leader like that.
Okay.
But for people in our country to have an issue with something that's so close to home to us in a dictator, when you, like I said, you've got a lady right there on the panel that works with you on this show telling you that it's a great thing what was done, because this woman has seen what can happen with oppressive regimes. She was 8 years old. Excuse me. She's from Nicaragua. She was 8 years old when her family fled to come to the United States because of what was going on over there. You know what I mean? So she has seen what this shit can cause when you've got somebody like a Maduro running things. And she's trying to tell these people that. This is what I was talking about earlier, where it's people that have no firsthand knowledge of how bad this shit can get when you have people like that up there running your country. And she's trying to tell you they didn't quite disagree with her, but they couldn't help it. Oh, well, what about how Trump did it? You know, who gives, like, what are we doing here? It's crazy, man.
It is. It's typical out there liberal playbook that they do that and they say that. But look, man, the media's in a frenzy on the left. They acting like this is the first time this has ever happened. I mean, we can go back to 1989 with what's his name, Noriega in Nicaragua. You know, so George H.W. Bush led a coalition and went and took him. What they gave him 30 years in prison or something like that. So it's more than just dope. It's illegal oil sales. It's gun running. You name it, the man's probably got his hands in it. So
oh yeah, no, they got him with it.
Yeah.
I would say,
and if I can add this, and if I can add this too, I'm gonna tell you who's next to fall, and I'm gonna predict it here tonight. What country is next to fall, and it's gonna be Cuba. Cuba is heavily dependent upon Venezuela for money. Cuba is a dictatorship from Fidel Castro and his brother, Raul or whatever his name is, to who's running it now. They are heavily dependent upon Venezuela. Used to be Russia, now it's Venezuela. They will fall next, and I say free the people, man. I really do. These people have been living in bondage and suffrage for decades, and it's like, dude, take off the noose and let's roll and let these people prosper the way they should be and live free.
Right. Well, and we paint it as a good thing. A lot of people do, as far as him going over there and having this man captured. A lot of people that have dealt with regimes like that, or know people have immediate family that have lived through that kind of shit, they don't have a problem with this. Now, like I said, a lot of them are turned into a legal issue where it's been described by some legal experts as violating international law, primarily due to, I guess, the lack of the UN Security Council authorization. But we're such a, we're a powerhouse of a country, man. We're a superpower. So typically things like that, they may get kind of some finger wagging from other countries, but they're not going to do anything. It's not like Trump is in legal trouble here. It's just a shame that some people are even calling for it.
Right.
And it's only because of who's doing it. It's a damn shame, man.
I think if it's in your hemisphere, you do what you have to do, if that makes sense.
Who is he going to get in trouble with?
Exactly. Nobody. Nobody. I mean,
there's capture him.
Yeah. On the international level, it's a clear breach of in the eyes of bodies like the UN, which has already questioned the operations legality, and they are calling for Maduro's release. But I mean, there's no international court with jurisdiction over the U.S. No. So, I mean, and what are you going to do? I mean, it's like, they say allies like Germany have raised concerns, but they stop short of sanctions. So in other words, nothing's going to happen. Of course, Russia and China condemned it as bullying, but they're the last two we're fucking worried about talking about bullying somebody. Like, fuck
went
off.
over there and stuffed him in a locker.
It's bullying.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get
Dude,
good,
dude. Let me hit on something real
good.
quick, man, from Frog at 8:53. Iraq 2.0. All right, he posted, or she posted, Iraq 2.0. And look, that has played in my mind, man, because look what happened when we went into Iraq and we overthrew Saddam Hussein and brought him up on charges, which I still don't think to this day there was weapons of mass destruction. I think it was a reason to go in there and try to change that whole country. It didn't work too well, man. We spent trillions of dollars with a lot of American lives. It's a little bit different over there because I think the majority of the Venezuelan people are all for this, but that plays in the back of my head. When you start talking regime change and government changes within countries, it's like, just in my opinion, it can go south quick, if you know where I'm coming from. So we saw what would happen in Iraq, and of course, terrorists took it over in Afghanistan. God, it's just a whole nother problem, I just would hope that nothing would come to something like that, where another dictator gets in,
I was going to ask you that. I mean, is that something you think is a concern, or do you think Trump's administration is going to keep a close eye on what's going on over there to make sure?
I think so, but I think the majority of the people in Venezuela, or if it's Cuba, or if it's any of these socialist communist countries within our hemisphere, dude, I don't think they want to be oppressed, man. Just who does, But
I was going to say they don't, but then somehow these snakes always seem to slip in.
It's true, and I think it's going to take a good government oversight, but it's like, here we go. How many trillions of dollars are we going to have to pump into this? I don't know. To me, Venezuela has enough money to fund themselves. Yeah. So
I see. I get your point. Like it's not our job to for one, financially babysit them through all of this. Right. So that it's a good point you're making. Like, how involved are we going to be, and how involved should we be after they basically got their guy? Because this wasn't painted by the Trump administration as we're going to go in there and take out their dictator. It was, hey, he broke laws. We're going to get him because of that. And then we're going to put him in court and hopefully have the judge throw the book at him because of these laws that he broke as far as what was going on in the United States, not because of what he was doing over there to his people. Right. So if that's the case, you got your guy, then you stay out of it. I guess is really all you can do. I mean, there's no point in us living over there for decades and spending trillions of dollars. Yes. Yeah. So that's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, how much involved do we need to be?
They should pay us for security detail.
Us?
Yes.
I'll take it.
Well,
not us, but
we're gonna take oil,
America.
You'll take it.
Well, they will.
They're going to pay us, and oil, riches, if it's gold, silver, whatever it might be, So.
They will, because that was a lot of people's argument that this was only done over oil, and they're not even denying that part of the reason is that, but it's because we're not going to let somebody else come in and benefit off of that. there's no reason to allow that. I mean, it's too oil rich.
Yes.
And there's no reason let China, Russia, whoever you name them, come over there and use that to their advantage when we don't have to allow that over here.
And that's what was going on. And that's what
Of
was
course.
going on, man. Yes, absolutely. So I
Of
agree.
course it was.
Put to a stop, you know.
Well, like I said, it just blew my mind just watching the the amount of people that are out there trying to free a dictator that were just screaming, "We don't want no kings." It blows my fucking mind. But then again, it shouldn't surprise anyone just how far apart we are with politics, you know, as far as coming together and agreeing on anything. And when you start throwing Trump's name into it, it gets even worse. So I guess I shouldn't expect anything else. But I was just looking. I mean, they got him on narco-terrorism conspiracy to import cocaine, possession. Conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. I don't think this dude's getting out of this. I mean, I really don't. I think he's going down, but what is he going to be replaced by, you know?
True.
Exactly. That's some heavy charges. No kind of lawyer. He's going to have public defender. What's going on there?
Right. We shall see how this turns out. But look, I'm happy for the Venezuelan people. Like I said, in the back of my head, I do worry about the stability of the government in the short term. That because really all that's in there now is the vice president. She was elected president, so she might be one of the same of what was in there. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to play out, and it gives us good topics to talk about.
Well, and speaking of socialist, we got Mamdani. He just was just sworn in, a fresh face at the helm of New York City, and he's already stirring the pot a little bit.
Absolutely.
I know for one, as soon as he got in, the subway rates went up when I thought he was going to be giving that to everybody.
I thought it was
free subway, and then it goes not subway.
Wait, sandwiches?
Oh, that's
probably what he was talking about. That's why the subway prices went up.
And if I'm him, that's what I'd go with. I meant sandwiches, not the subway. Damn it,
stupid people.
So supposedly that went up. Well, not supposedly, it did. They had a rate hike as soon as he was sworn in. I'm not going to say it totally had anything to do with it. That might have been in the works before he got in, but I do know he was running on that whole free subway. Everybody's getting everything free. And then, but I think what's really kind of got people arguing back and forth is he's trying to, I guess, basically stop a lot of the slumlord issues that's going on in the city by, forcing people that own properties and these buildings to take certain steps in as far as having rent limits, which I think is a terrible idea. It just, to me, it sounds great in theory. Like, yes, you want to have your tenants taken care of, but let's face it, I think a lot of the damage and a lot of the shit that's going on in these places are probably not always the landlord's fault. If you've ever been a landlord, people don't always take care of your shit the best.
Nope.
So to sit there and put it all on the landlords, I just think all that's going to do is run a lot of property owners out of that city. And essentially just it all goes to the government. Now it's all government run. So he's just going to go in there and take property from people.
Right.
And you know how anything government run turns. I mean, it's just a big housing project now. And I just don't see this going anywhere good, even though, like I said, to the bleeding heart liberals, it sounds great. It sounds great to, we're going to hold these landlords accountable. And I'm thinking, well, it sounds good, but I'm telling you, these people are not going to invest money in there to be controlled like that. When you start telling them they can only charge so much for rent, nobody wants to hear that shit that owns property. They're like, well, I'll charge accordingly. If I can get more, I'm going to get more. That's what landlords do. So I don't think this is going to be great. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's going to turn into a bunch of government-run housing projects is all I see.
You're not wrong. You're 100% right. Because when you sit back and you look at when this man's speaking, and it just, I mean, I was just tipped off from early on in his campaign when he talks about we're going to get away from individualism and we're going to move more to collectivism. And those sound great, man. It sounds great, man. Yeah, the government's going to be here. He's going to put constraints on certain things, and the government's going to be there to help you more. It was a red flag for me from the get-go, man. And I'll take individualism any day, and let me be my own demise, if that makes sense to anybody,
Yeah, I mean, and you said it. You hear these, the buzzwords and the
Right.
talking points of everything sounds great the way that it's
Mhm.
presented, but it never works out in these
Never.
situations. It's just not going to happen. Socialism is never going to work. Government-run entities
Right.
are always run like shit.
Yep.
There's so much. I mean, we're seeing it now with the fraud in Minnesota. It's never ending. We see it close to home over here in New Orleans. I mean, however many millions of dollars they are behind the budget, where they can't even fund half the police officer. I mean, it's just how them shithole places like that are run. And
Let's
you
just
always
take
have
it something as simple as a DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, look at the DMV. That
Yeah.
would basically be how a whole city is ran.
Right.
When the government
Very true.
government jumps in and decides to take total control, which is, in so many words, it's not like, it's kind of like what he's saying, that, hey, we're going to take these buildings from you. He's not just going to come out and say that, but he knows what he's doing. He's going to put so many regulations and so many stipulations on these property owners. They're going to have no choice but to get the fuck and invest their money somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, is it right to be a slumlord? No.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think the government's going to run it any more efficient.
No.
I mean, look at the housing projects that are pretty much already run by the government, with all the Section 8 and everything going on. You drive around New Orleans and look, none of it looks like a desirable place to live. And that's not because of some slumlords that own the projects. It's city-run bullshit,
Yeah, and I saw somebody bitching the other day. Apparently, New York City's implemented the COPA Act, which basically requires sellers to notify the government 30 days before selling their properties over there. I don't know what for, but it sounds
That's in
odd
New York.
that you would.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think you're going to be able to get out. I think there's going to be a lot of people that say, hey, we should have did this a year ago, but they'll be stuck, man. I see it, I don't think people are going to be able to get out. So
I'm with
even though you're probably seeing a mass exodus now out of there, if anybody with any brains, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, but when it comes to dipping in your pocketbook, into your pockets, yeah, I would say, it's time to GTF out of here, dude.
It's amazing there's anybody left over there that doesn't agree with those type of policies.
True. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Go
But I
build
know
a
some
house,
people.
you loser. Oh, you
Yeah,
remember
and
when
of
men
course
used to
we've
go
talked-
to war? Now they just sit online and complain all day. Go build a house and then get back to me.
Who's complaining?
Yeah.
Who's
Look,
complaining?
I don't even know how to say his name.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, well, you got to point him out so we can put him on the screen. I don't even know who y'all talking about.
What
Dre.
time?
Dre?
What time was it?
I don't know.
9:05?
We don't got to give him attention.
This one here?
Yeah.
Well, go make some fucking sandwich. I am hungry.
Go build a house. Go change a tire. Do something manly. How about
That's
that?
Dre, you
Don't
better
over here
subscribe for
complaining
that
all
one,
day.
dude. Yeah, Dre, subscribe for that one, brother.
Yep. Let me see. I don't even know what this guy was saying. Crickets with my comments. This is why nobody takes you clowns serious. I would hope nobody does, but crickets with my comments. This is what. Okay. What comment did he say? I'm not even paying much attention.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know. That's the only one I see.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He's been in there a little bit, but yeah, I mean, we just we talking serious facts here, man. We get
Trump
ready
is
to get to
turning the
comments.
U.S. into a shithole. Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing.
Like what?
Yeah, that's what
Crickets.
Trump's doing, because Trump's pushing socialism and,
Like
and
what?
you know, he's the one sitting there running these fucking daycare fraud schemes, stealing billions of
Right.
dollars from taxpayers. It's all Trump. Oh, that's just some dummy. Anyway, that's so stupid. So there you go. There was your comments, buddy. We got it to you. Speaking of fraud, let me pull this up. Now, I don't even know. This may not even be fraud. I'll get y'all's opinion on it. But let's see. Let's share it here. I'm going to share this. Let y'all
Okay.
see it. There it is. Right there. Boom. All right. Blow it up where you can see it. If not, I'll read it to you. This is in Minneapolis. It's a daycare hiring child actors for 3-day contract. My family runs daycare here in the city. We have for over 5 years until Monday, when funding was cruelly ripped away without cause due to this insane poor decision, clear in white supremacy. We had to close our doors immediately. We must prove we are a functional daycare to get the funding back. The issue is the entire client base has already found new daycare services, so we need to find new clients quickly. To help hurry the state vetting process, we are looking to hire 20 child actors for 3 days while the state is present on site. $1,500 a day. If you're interested, please send your child's age and a note of what makes your child a special actor. Submit phone numbers as well, blah, blah, blah. So, anybody got some kids in that area? $1,500 a day. Help these people get their funding back. Totally legit.
A number? I'm going to apply as me.
It would have to be, is there a number? I'm sure it's something you click on these Craigslist ads. But, so yeah,
Where's
dude,
that
there you
at?
go. Yeah, somewhere in Minneapolis, Ventura Village. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Know it well. Yeah. Ain't that nice?
My best
Isn't
hope
that
is somebody was trolling and got on Craigslist with that. But at this point, I wouldn't doubt that's 100% fucking legit.
So
You know what I
Clay
mean?
Cousin says, what fraud childcare? Then his second comment is this.
MAGA operative got busted for lying about oh my God. Bro, stop. Just subscribe and stop. Did he just say what fraud?
Yes.
No, ain't no fraud. You see fraud? I don't see fraud.
The biggest news going around right now. But
That's a Somali.
now, I will say, big news in Chicago. I want to congratulate them. They ended 2025 on a historic note. They recorded just 416 murders. That's the fewest the city has seen since 1965. So let's give it
Not
up to
bad.
them.
Woo!
Only 400 people
Boo.
killed.
Tomatoes.
That's amazing. So, I'm thinking, what a stat to be proud of, you know? What a stat, dude. 400 people
Unbelievable.
killed, and it's an upgrade. That's
for
crazy, man. But that's all
Yeah,
Trump. That's Trump ruining the country.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's Trump. Let's see.
Come on, Clay. He's on a roll tonight.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
having
he
fun
said
with it.
there was a
He's having
real
fun.
investigation and proving this to be bullshit.
It was.
So,
Let's
I
look at
think
this
Tim
guy.
Walz is just stepping down for no reason. I think
Let's
it's
check.
just
Let's check this out. I crunched the data, made a map. States with no effective voter ID requirement average nearly 8 times more welfare benefits to illegal immigrants compared to states requiring voter ID verification. I don't guess that surprises anybody, but
no.
I mean,
I
you
like
see
that.
these states,
Yep.
and you know, like you said, it's these ones they just require no voter ID, which is exactly how they want it. Then they can just
Sure.
flood these people into these areas, and they will never lose control of places like California. And you know, you go up, just name a liberal or blue run place, and they're shipping these people in by the thousands. And there's a reason behind it. That's why they fight so hard to not want to ID people to vote. They hide that too somehow behind racism. I never understood that one. I mean, are they saying black people are just too stupid to go get an ID? I don't that one always lost me. Like, why is that racist to ask for an
Right.
ID?
Well, here's a good one, dude. Why don't we just, since they want open borders, let's go to Venezuela and just bring in, I don't know, 30 million people, man. I'm cool with it because I would tell you that most of them would probably vote Republican. Now, would y'all be cool with that? There's a lot of Venezuelans that are pro-America, you
Of
know,
course
and
they
pro
are.
what's going on. So, are y'all okay? Let's open the borders. I'm cool with that. Let's bring 30 million of them in and see how.
And
that
all of a
goes.
sudden, it would be an issue, you know?
Oh, it would be a big
Yeah,
issue.
as
Oh,
soon
wait,
as
what?
They come in and
What?
start voting Republican. They'd shut them borders down so fast.
Absolutely, dude.
That's crazy,
Uh,
man.
dude.
That's crazy. It says the U.S. collects $2.4 trillion in income tax, spends $1.5 trillion on fraud. If we didn't have to pay fraud, only $900 billion would need to be collected. That means anyone with less than $500K in income could pay literally $0 in income tax. It's like they said, we don't
Wow.
need to raise the taxes. We need to cut the fraud.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. That's what I was thinking. I was just talking about that earlier. I was guessing about half of what they take from us is used for fraudulent bullshit, man, whether it be politicians finding a way to funnel it to their pockets or giving it to people to buy votes. One way or another, it's half of our fucking income tax, man. That's so nuts, man. It's just so nuts when you think about it, for how long this shit's been going on.
Yeah, well, Ken says, but how would Israel be able to fund free health care if we didn't collect those income taxes?
That is a good point.
I probably don't want to disagree with him. It's true. Look, I'm not just saying everything's on the left, man. It's just that what we spend in this country for everything before they take care of the American people that pay taxes is total horseshit. It really is, man. Take care of us first, because we're the ones making it and paying the taxes, and then the rest of them can wait, man.
And that's honestly how it should be, and that's the kind of stuff that Trump, tries to run with. It's like, let's take care of our house first, and then whatever time and money we got left, we'll donate some of that to other places that need it.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with helping people, but let's get our own house in order. And the way these Democrats are, they start on the outside first, and it's not even so much that they're trying to help other people in other countries. I think that's just a way for them to funnel their money. They hide behind the whole story of, we're trying to do humanitarian work overseas where it's needed. And it's like, you're not doing shit. Those places are still shitholes. You're just finding these little organizations to hide your money. And it's been going on for decades. And that's the kind of shit that Elon was uncovering with Doge. That's exactly what he was getting at, that there was just so much of our dollars going overseas to bullshit foundations and bullshit organizations, and it was all leading back to somebody becoming wealthy, and it wasn't really about helping anybody. And as soon as somebody like Trump or anybody wants to cut that out, it's a big fucking problem to half of the voter base for some reason.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man. It's like, the same ones, I guess, don't have no problem with these politicians becoming uber wealthy as soon as they get in office. I mean, it's like, we always talk about her, but Pelosi, she's on $174,000 a year salary. Her net worth is $413 fucking million.
Dude,
how? Yeah,
I did see that she smashed the S&P again this year. So
of course she did.
That's good.
S&P don't want none of her.
And Warren Buffett by like 15%.
Yeah.
Well, I can see him doing it, dude. Really, honestly, man.
No, like she smoked him.
Yeah.
Oh, she beat him. You talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh
she
yeah.
Smoked him.
Unbelievable.
Let's let me see something.
Clay needs to go change his tampon.
Clay, you all right, bro?
But he's having a bad day.
Clay, calm down, dude. God damn, bro. It's not that serious. Let's listen to old Chucky Schumer, man. Let's pull up old Chucky back in 2020.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. If the policy was working, Juan Guaido wouldn't be in the balcony here. He'd be in Venezuela. He'd be sitting in the president's palace, or at least waging a fight to win. He's here. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began. He brags about all.
Yeah. Now, there's just a video circulating recent that Chucky just did last couple of days, basically saying Trump it did it the wrong way. It was illegal the way that he'd unlawful. But 2020, it's like he hasn't done shit to stop Maduro. And then when he does it, it's, he went about it the wrong way. He's another one. I mean, these people, they just can't get their story straight.
But do you think for a second that if he would have said, look, I'm going to notify Congress on this, and I'm going to let the Democrat Party know that we're getting ready to invade them, do you think that would have went as smooth as it should have? Never, ever in a million years. And look, Chucky Schumer, man, how can you trust somebody that cooks a raw hamburger, and puts cheese on it, man?
That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was him. That stupid ass dude. Yeah, you can't trust him.
No,
dude.
But you're right. Had this run through whatever they want to call the proper protocols, there's no way in hell they would have let that go through just because Trump was trying to do it. There's no way the Democrats would have voted for that shit. You know, it's anything that he tries to do. I mean, if Trump back a couple years ago would have come out and praised Black Lives Matter, if he'd have got up there every day saying, "Oh, I love it, Black Lives Matter, I love the organization," then Democrats would have come out and said, I think we need to get slavery back in this country. You know, it's anything to go to total opposite of what this dude is doing. No matter
total 180, bro.
Yeah, no matter how good or bad it is, it's anything to not give him an ounce of credit. And that it just goes to show you they don't have any principles that they really stand on. They don't really give a fuck about whatever crowd they're pandering to at the time. It's just whoever they think is going to be their strongest base when it comes to getting votes. That's who they're going to go with. Because you see old Chucky Schumer there bitching that Trump hadn't done nothing about it. And as soon as he does, that's a problem also. So it just goes to show you that they don't believe in any of this shit that they get up there and start saying. Whenever you hear any of these politicians talk, none of them stand on what they really believe. They're all just full of shit. And it shows you time and time again, there's video evidence of it over and over and over, and how people continue to fall for it. Even the shit that they're screaming is racist today that Trump is doing with this border and you know, getting these illegals out of here, that's the same shit the Clintons were all for. They were all for that shit for the longest time. But yet they loved Hillary when she was running against Trump because she was the one fighting for the minorities, you know?
I think Clay's sucking on Tim's tampon.
He's upset, huh?
He is upset. Needs a Clay's or something.
Clay, you still upset, bro? Where's Clay?
He's all right.
He is.
Maybe
go touch some grass or something.
Well, for one, I'm not reading everything you're saying, Clay. I'm not living in the comments. We're talking. But why would we sit here and address this kind of nonsense all day, all night long? Why don't you go find another channel? Go find somebody with some blue hair and some nose rings and maybe some trans talk going on, whatever you're into, and go watch them, dude. We didn't force you here. But, you know, they want to have a conversation with you, but then that's the type of stupid shit they want to say.
That's your
people. You want to have a real conversation, let's do it.
That's all they got.
That's your people.
We're all for it.
Dude.
Yeah. Anyway.
Your mom.
All right, no arguing. This is a family-friendly show.
Yes, it is.
Family-friendly show. Brad, let me show you something.
Can't you see it with liberals, man? You just got to use a little facts and a little logic, man. And
they get all pissed off and
totally blow their fucking minds.
Right, and then want to get pissed off because you're not paying attention to every word they're saying in the comments when those are the words. You know, just nothing but ignorant name calling, and it's like, what are we doing here? Are you taking up for the politicians? Is that what's got him pissed off? That we're shitting on politicians?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like to me, everybody should be rejoicing in that. Like, yeah, fuck them all. They're all dirty. You know. Instead, it's just ignorant. But this is listed as the location of the auditing firm that performed the audits for both Minnesota and Ohio. And those NGOs, Brad, this is where, when you pull up the address, this is the auditing service that was on top of all of that. Jubba Value Center, whatever the fuck that is, this, whatever that is. So of course, I dug it up. I looked into the owner that was, owns that property, owns that service. And let me see, his name is right here. I'll share it with you. Let me get it blown up on the thing here. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm coming. I'm looking for it. I want to share this with you if I can get it pulled up here. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to pull up a file. There it is, right there. All right. Let's see. Okay. Now, this fella's name is, if I can pronounce it, Mohammed Warmahay. Okay, he runs H&H Barcad Accounting Services. Now, this is the guy that was auditing a lot of that shit that was going on over there. Now, this that I'm pulling up is for a document where he was basically in front of he was in a hearing in front of the board that was voting to revoke his CPA license because of multiple infractions that he had, as far as not keeping up with his licenses and not just doing nothing he was supposed to be doing. But yet this is the type of people they're letting overlook what's going on in a lot of these facilities.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You keep going down this trail and you think you've seen it all with this fraud, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And when I saw that today, I'm like, what? They don't even try. They don't even care. It's a dilapidated building that supposedly this auditing service is out of, or this CPA firm, and it looks like it doesn't even fucking exist. But that's who is in charge of keeping up with all this, basically. It's nuts, man. I don't know. I wish they'd either, I guess, throw somebody in jail or just let this shit blow over, because I'm so sick of just seeing all of this shit, because it makes you more angry the deeper this shit goes. It's nuts, man.
I agree.
But anyway.
100%. Yeah.
Anyway.
Look, you're not going to please them all. You're going to piss them off. But I think we're on the right side of all of this. I really do. So,
yeah.
And I think it all needs to be exposed, if it's in this country, and just what's going on, man, all over the place, man.
Well,
they're
what
taking our fucking dollars, man, and they're stealing it.
Hey, what else needs to be exposed is this fucking this fixed NFL bullshit with Vegas. Did you see? Everybody's freaking out over that Packers-Vikings game. Justin, I don't know if you caught wind of that, but the Packers were down. There's 1 second left in the fourth quarter. Okay, 1 second. They're down 16-0. All right? There's a 13.5 point spread. They call a fucking timeout to kick a field goal with 1 second left, down by 16. And apparently that just fucked up the spread. And you know which way all those bets were leaning for that to happen. And then they wonder why people question this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what reason would they have? I mean, look, I get it. Some people are like, well, because they don't want to be shut out. But to go out your way to call a timeout, just let the fucking game end. We've seen it a million times where you're getting your ass smoked. There's a few seconds left. You take a fucking knee or whatever, or you air it out, maybe try to get a touchdown. But they were like, oh, timeout. Let's get the kicking. It's like, what are we doing? And then, and like I said, they want you to pay attention to that shit like it's legitimate, just like our politics around here, So anyway, Justin, I didn't know if you saw that. I know you've been doing your fantasy football shit, but I seen a lot of people, they were not happy with that shit. So apparently a lot of people lost money.
Bitching about it.
Yeah, well, it is crazy when you look at it. We've said it before on here. It's hard to believe that these big sport, entities aren't somehow controlled by the money that's being dumped into Vegas. Now, do they control every aspect of every game? Of course not. But there's certain ways they can control outcomes of games, or at least the momentum of games. They've had many years to practice. I'm sure they got it down to a science. And it seems to be shit like this. I don't know who gets the word to say, hey, look, we need a field goal by the fucking Packers. So whatever happens, we need a field goal. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of how they would run that scheme, like who in the Packers organization would be in charge of that. But it just seems odd that they couldn't wait to kick this field goal and fuck up that spread for a lot of people. And look, maybe it's digging too much into something. Maybe it was just we don't want to be embarrassed with a 0 on the fucking scoreboard. But that's not what a lot of people are screaming. And I guess if I had money on it going a certain way, I'd be screaming that shit too.
Yeah. I don't even follow that shit, but that sounds like it's rigged. I mean, just like the Cincinnati game a few weeks back at the 29 and you punt, I mean,
yeah,
really? Oh, okay. I got you. Really? Oh, okay. I got you, dude.
Yeah. There's so much shit like that goes on. And it's like, when do they really start losing the bulk of their fan base? It's amazing they haven't. Right. When they start taking the element of realism out of it, and I get it, it's still an amazing sport. I get caught up in it sometimes where I'll watch some games, but it's not like it used to be years ago when I was hardcore into it. You just get tired of seeing the nonsense over and over, and then you start getting into the mindset of why am I watching this shit? It's all predetermined anyway, like wrestling. So why am I wasting my fucking time? But somehow they keep packing them they pack them stadiums, and I just don't know when enough people wake up to where they either have to stop that shit or they fuck it, roll with it. We'll just keep the fans we have and make as much money as we can right now. I mean, I don't know.
It's never gonna stop, dude. Look at WWE, dude. The fakest shit around, dude.
At least they admit it now. Look, when I was a kid, they wouldn't even admit it.
Dude, people spend their paychecks on that shit, dude. So
yeah, at least
like,
Vince McMahon, he had come out and said, look, it's entertainment. You know, he finally had to come out and say that. That's what the NFL ought to be. It's just National Football Entertainment. They need to change the fucking name and just admit it. We're just entertaining you. We're out here doing a choreographed fucking dance and just enjoy it or don't. But instead, it's, you know, they want you to believe shit when you watch what happened to us years ago with the no call with this in the Saints game and shit. And yeah, it's like, come on, man. There's you know, bigger people behind this shit that are controlling a lot of it. And it's all to do with money. Anytime there's that much money involved in anything, and that even goes back to, like I said, our politics. When you've got that much money involved, there's no way they just let the chips fall where they may. It's just not how things work when that kind of money's involved. Somebody wants to have control of where this money is going. And we see it in our American politics and probably all world politics. But, you know, from the politics we follow, you see it day in and day out, man. Money controls the avenue that everything takes.
If you think it was just in basketball was the last scandal or something, man, look, it's through all sports, man.
It is. Too
Football,
much money.
Yeah, there's just way too much money changing hands. And if it means 3 points here or a touchdown there, yeah, dude, they're going to do what they have to do to make that money flow the right way, you know? So sad, but it's the world we live in today, you know?
Justin, what are you seeing in the comments?
Clay laughing.
I can always tell when Justin's got a grin.
He's just in there laughing at his own jokes.
Clay, we love you, Clay. Clay, did you subscribe, bro? At least tell me you subscribed. I mean,
send me a DM, Clay, and I'll mail you a hat. I'm sure you'd be proud to wear one of our hats around, huh?
Hell yeah.
Send me a DM with your address. I'll mail you a hat and a sticker, man. I'm sure you put it on your bumper.
What? And look, how much more clear can you be? The NFL, you don't believe, and you swallow government bullshit all day. How much more clear can we be that there ain't no government shit being swallowed on this fucking show?
Not at all.
I don't know how many fucking times. I mean, you know, Jesus, I don't know how else to explain it. You haven't watched long enough, apparently, but I promise you, this is the last place the government wants to come to be jerked off, because it ain't happening here.
Absolutely, man. I don't think, look, I think between all four of us here when we're on here, and look, we voted for Trump, and we are more on the side of conservatism, or I like to say not really conservatism, but capitalism as a whole. I like what money I make every day out there to be my money in my pocket, in my bank account, and I help who I want to help. And but we will beat up on either side. It has never stopped us. It never will. If the Republicans do wrong, we have no problem on this channel calling them out. And same thing with Democrats. It just seems like lately it's Democrats. So
that's why they need to subscribe, hit the notifications, and then you'll know when we go live every time, and you would know that kind of shit, because we've said
Clay,
it
we're
over
not bad
and
people.
over.
You know,
I mean,
we're not bad
most
people.
of
You'll
us
figure it
aren't.
out.
There's a couple on this panel that probably need to fix their lives.
Yeah.
No,
it is.
No, really.
It's always the quiet ones you got to watch, dude, you know?
We try to call out the bullshit on either side. I mean, you know, am I biased towards one side right now? Of course, because I think the left has gone fucking batshit crazy. So
absolutely.
But I'm sure there's some things they say and do that aren't totally horrible, but you know. I don't watch enough CNN, I guess, to realize.
Well, I do think the left is the most existential threat to this country for sure, man.
I thought it was white supremacy.
Well, that's the left, dude. Yeah.
It pretty much is.
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say, dude.
It pretty much is. That's what that shit reminded me with on The View this morning with Anna Navarro was, you know, her explaining to these American citizens that never stepped foot anywhere that's been run by anyone oppressive, trying to, you know, make this woman basically say it was a bad thing that Trump had Maduro arrested. And it always reminds me of these white liberal women that want to tell black people what should offend them. Right. When a lot of black people are like, well, I'm just kind of chilling, doing my own thing. And they're like, no. Nope. Everybody's racist towards you. You're being held down by the white man. And that's what that reminds me of. Like, they always have to try to tell somebody how oppressed they are. And just lives that they've never lived. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like none. I talk to, you talk to a black person that you make you friends with, whatever, and everything's just fucking normal. Their life's normal. Everything's okay. I mean, they living like we are. They just want to raise their kids. They want to prosper. They want to try to just do what we're trying to do. Well, when you talk to a liberal white woman, it's like, oh no. Oh, no. Then white people are still trying to put you in chains. They want you picking cotton. Believe me. Believe what I'm saying, because I know. And that's what that reminded me of this morning, listening to that bitch trying to convince this lady who comes from a country that was run by a dictator that it was a bad thing the way that Trump went after Maduro. Like, they got to stop. These liberal women got to stop telling people.
Isn't she the one that said she moved to a majority white neighborhood and she had to like inform the police that she had young black kids riding around the neighborhood on bicycles or something? Isn't that the one? Am I right?
You're probably right. And look, do you really think she had to, or did she make a point to do it?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just so she could get on that talk show and said, look what I had to do yesterday. I had to go tell the police that I have little black kids, right? Like, shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. You can't make the shit up, dude. You can't make it up, dude.
It's liberal women in general, dude. Y'all got to stop telling people how to feel. When somebody tells you they don't feel a certain way, shut the fuck up. Leave the conversation. It's done.
Fuck your feelings. How about that?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
that too. That's a good point, Brad.
Absolutely.
Anyway. All right. Anything else crazy going on besides the dude in the comments?
No, he's nuts, man. But yeah, send me a DM. I want to send him a hat and I want to send him a sticker, man. So if he DMs Shane, let me know and we'll send him. I'll send him a shirt. Dude. Let me know what size you wear, brother. So.
And he's a tampon. My God,
We'll send that too, dude. We got we can get those too. Yeah.
Y'all make sure you subscribe. We'll be back probably Wednesday night. Clay, we love you.
Ready.
Honestly, we do love you, bro. Make sure you subscribe, Clay. We'll be back at it Wednesday night talking a little more shit. Hopefully you join. And till next time, y'all be good. Tell them bye, y'all.
Bye.